So what's next for Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson has gone from Super Bowl champion in Seattle to disappointment in Denver to benched in New York in just a few years. Once one of the league's most reliable quarterbacks, he now finds himself fighting just to stay relevant. His contract, his age, and his reputation all hang in the balance, and the next move could define his legacy. Trade, backup, transition, reinvention. These are the paths on the table. The question is, which one he'll take? This season, just 3 games crushed Russell Wilson's New York dream. 3 weeks into the 2025 season, with the Giants sitting at 0-3, he was pulled from the lineup and replaced by rookie Jaxson Dart. Russell once guided Seattle to a Super Bowl title back in 2014. It's a reminder of how brutal the NFL can be when performance doesn't match reputation. In March 2025, Wilson signed a 1-year pact with the Giants worth up to $21 million, with $10.5 million guaranteed. It was billed as his shot at redemption, a final chance to show he still had it. Instead, it became one of the briefest stints as a starter in his career. His inconsistencies were glaring. He kicked off the season with a rough outing in Washington. Then in week 2, he looked like vintage Russ, 30 of 41 for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Still, it came in a 40-37 overtime loss to Dallas. But just 1 week later in Kansas City, he was held to 160 yards through 2 interceptions and averaged only 5 yards per attempt in a 22-9 defeat. By week 4, head coach Brian Daboll had seen enough. The Giants officially turned to Dart, and Wilson was relegated to clipboard duty. Watching him benched after just 3 weeks, you can't help but wonder, is this really the end for Russell Wilson? Because not that long ago, the story looked very different. Before New York or Denver, Wilson built his legacy in Seattle. For a decade, he was the face of the Seahawks, paired with the Legion of Boom defense to win Super Bowl 58 and reach another a year later. From 2012 to 2021, he never had a losing season and set nearly every major franchise passing record. But after he was traded to Denver in 2022, everything changed. He hit a career low with just 16 touchdown passes as the Broncos stumbled to 5-12 with the league's worst scoring offense. Even with Sean Payton, the rebound never came, and by early 2024, Denver cut ties, swallowing a record-setting dead money hit. That collapse is what made New York feel like his last shot. At 36, Wilson just isn't the same player. The legs that once made him dangerous, the scrambles, the escape plays, the deep moon balls are mostly gone. Defenses know it, and they're taking advantage. This season, he's leaned heavily on checkdowns, even earning the tag of the NFL's biggest checkdown artist from PFF. Former teammate Richard Sherman went as far as to say,
"If ever there was somebody who played himself out of a Hall of Fame, it's Russell Wilson."
Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez has raised similar doubts about his Canton case. Still, I wouldn't write Wilson off just yet. He's a 10-time Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champion, credentials few quarterbacks can claim. He's faced every coverage, every blitz, every clutch moment the NFL can throw at a QB, and that kind of experience still carries value. Even now, he brings leadership and poise in the locker room, traits that can help a young quarterback adjust. And the arm talent isn't gone. That 450-yard performance against Dallas proved the tools are still there. The issue is sustaining it week after week. So the question remains, where does he go from here? One possible route is a mid-season trade. With his 1-year deal and modest cap hit, he's a low-risk pickup for a team desperate for QB depth. Injuries happen, contenders look for stopgaps, and rebuilding teams often want stability. Wilson could be that short-term bridge. The second option is a backup role. He's already said he won't demand a trade and is focused on supporting rookie Jaxson Dart. In that role, he could mentor the kid while staying ready if things go sideways. For someone who's been a starter his whole career, that humility might be the smartest way to extend it. The third path is transitioning out of playing. Retirement is on the table, but so are TV and coaching. With his resume and personality, Wilson could easily make that jump. And then there's the Bengals scenario. With Joe Burrow sidelined by toe surgery and Jake Browning throwing 3 interceptions in his first big outing, Cincinnati suddenly looks thin. That's why Wilson's name has popped up. His 1-year, $21 million contract makes him a cheap rental, and his experience could keep the Bengals alive in the AFC race. So what do you think is next for Russell Wilson? A trade? A backup role? Maybe even the Bengals? Or a pivot into life after football? The options are on the table, but none are guaranteed. If you made it this far, drop your take in the comments. Is Russell Wilson done? Or does he have one last run left in him?